folks. All right, we're about to get started with the predictions for UFC Fight Night. Smith versus
Teixeira, Dad.
Teixeira. I guess I don't really know how to pronounce it. But this is me, Taylor Marrow, and your host, Weston.
Marrow.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is actually. We're related, I guess.
I'm glad you know your name, kid.
Yeah, me
What's
too.
your middle name?
What is my middle name? Dax.
All right, so this is your show. What do you want to get? How do you want to get it started?
Right. So we started from the bottom of the card.
All right.
Now, some of these fights, I have no clue who any of these people are. Okay?
All right. So,
but most of these fights, I know at least one person there.
Okay.
So we got Brian Keller versus Hunter
Azure.
Azure?
Yeah. Don't
know who Hunter Azure is, but I know who Brian Keller is. I'm going to go with Brian Keller just for the fact that I know him.
All right. And so, what do you know about Brian Keller?
So he has really good wrestling.
Okay.
He's a solid wrestler. I don't know that much about his striking. I think
Okay.
I've seen like one of his fights.
Okay.
So I'd see he has good wrestling. I'm not sure about his striking. I think he has okay striking. Overall, he's just a mixed martial artist.
Okay. Excellent. And then Hunter Azure, you really don't know much about him? Let me see if we can find any information about Hunter Azure. What's going on with this guy? Hunter Azure from Tapology. Let's see. Well, he's a new fighter.
28.
8-0.
8-0. Shit.
15 win streak. Ooh. Man, last fight September 14th, UFC 135. I mean, that guy has a pretty good stats. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what he compares to Brian Keller.
I know Keller has. I think Keller's coming off of a loss, if I'm not mistaken.
Brian Keller stats.
It might be Keller. No, I was thinking of
Kelleh.
Okay, yeah, it's Kelleher.
Kelleh. Yeah, Kelleher.
Kelleher.
All right.
Oh, Brian Boom Kelleher.
Oh, that's his name, Brian Boom. Let's check him out. What are his stats?
Not this.
Bantam and feather. He's 30 total wins or 30 fights, 20 wins,
10 losses. Ooh. Yeah, as I thought. Submission.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
BJJ. Oh,
fights out of 10 planet. All right, so you still got Brian. You're going to go with Hunter.
Okay, so since I know more about Hunter, I'm going to go with him just for the mere fact that he's on a 15-fight win streak. And it seems like if he's an undefeated fighter, UFC they always push undefeated fighters. And they always strap just a rocket to their ass and just blast them straight to the moon.
Okay,
that's just how it works.
Try to get. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think the reason why they try to do that? Why they promote these undefeated fighters?
Because it's just smart business. Because they're like they're undefeated. They're like perfect, and it makes more interesting fights. Because maybe it could be their undefeated streak getting beaten. That's why like Khabib's fights make so much money. It's not because I really think it. The main reason is because he's undefeated and people want to see him lose.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's something to be said about when. Whether it's a football team, a basketball team, is chasing that record of being completely undefeated, or whether like you're Floyd Mayweather Jr., right?
Yeah, Khabib.
Yeah, or Khabib, right? And I think you're right that there's something to that as far as human beings wanting to either see them lose, right, which I like to see, right, just so that they can rebuild themselves back up.
Yeah.
So you might be right, man. We'll see on Wednesday night.
How about Sijara Eubanks and Sarah Mora?
Yeah, Moraz.
Sijara Eubanks, I think she's coming off of she's coming off a victory against I'm blanking on who she beat, but I believe she's coming off a victory. But Sijara Eubanks is always just a solid fighter. She has great grappling.
Black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 8 wins.
She's from ATT.
8 fights, 4 wins.
Okay. I'm not sure if she's still at ATT, but she used to be at ATT, and ATT fighters are always monsters. Overall,
started out in Invicta.
Yeah.
So she seems like she has some.
Sijara Eubanks.
She has some pretty good experience.
Semi-finalist on a Tough.
Oh, okay. So she was a Tough competitor.
She was a finalist on Tough, but she lost the finals. She has solid wrestling. Her striking's pretty solid. I think I've seen a Sarah Moraes fight once.
Sarah Moraes, she's total fights 11, 6 wins, 3 by knockouts, purple belt in no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Sijara Eubanks. She has more muscle. She's bigger. Mm-hmm. She has better jiu-jitsu. She's been fighting longer. Tough finalist. Overall, I don't see why would you pick Sarah Moraes.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go with Eubanks as well. I think Eubanks might have a better opportunity to win. Oh, my boy, Michael Johnson versus
going up.
Thiago.
So he went. So I believe his last fight he got knocked out though.
Michael Johnson, yeah. Who knocked him out?
Josh Emmett.
Josh Emmett. That's a tough one.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, he's kind of old, too, 33. I mean, I guess in MMA, that's
33
not...
33 is, like, prime MMA
for some people.
Like, Frankie Edgar, when he was champion, he was 33. I know Anderson Silva, when he won the belt, he was, like, 34-ish.
Okay. So maybe he's not past his prime.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Michael Johnson just because I want to see him win.
Okay.
But also... I think that there's a solid chance that he might lose. I don't think he's going to get knocked out, but I think that it's probably going to squeak a decision.
Okay.
I mean, if you can beat the greatest fighter of all time, Artem Lobov, then I think that you can beat a scrub like Thiago Moyes.
All right. Next, we got Carl Robertson versus Marvin Vittori. Any idea who these guys are?
I think I've heard of Carl Robertson once.
All right, Carl Robinson and
Marvin Vittori.
Let's check out some of these. Let's check out some of these guys' stats.
Marvin sounds Italian.
I don't know if Marvin's Italian.
Let's see.
His last name sounds Italian. But we'll see.
I know there are some decent Italian fighters coming up, like what's his face, Luis Pena.
All right, Luis Pena is a solid start. So you've got
he lost his last,
and
fight,
he's from he's fighting out of Italy.
Yeah. I'm assuming that he probably...
26. He's had 19 total fights, 14 wins, only 2 by knockout. But he's got 8 submissions, so he seems like a pretty good submission star.
Brown belt in BJJ.
Yeah, brown belt in BJJ. So he seems like he might have a pretty good chance. I don't know so much about his
King's
about
MMA.
His striking.
Yeah, I'd assume that he's probably one of those like group of MMA fighters that live with because I know Luis Pena lives with just a bunch of MMA fighters in like a house or some shit like that.
So I'm not going with Marvin Vittori. I want to go with him, but I got to go with my boy Carl Robertson. You know why?
Why?
He's from Neptune, New Jersey.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I got to go with Jersey's own. I'm from Jersey, right here. I always represent Jersey. He's only had 11 total fights, 9 wins, not that many knocks out.
But also he had kickboxing, 3
and not many knockouts. But he's got a kickboxing record. I don't know, man. From the looks of it, it's kickboxing. He's got 4 submission wins, 2 knockouts. He might be able to stand up against Marvin Vittori. I'm going with Carl Robinson from the heart. From the stats, I don't know if he'll be able to get it done.
So from stats, I'm going to have to go with Marvin Vittori, whatever is how you pronounce his last name.
And that's what I would go with if I was just going with a stats guy, but I'm going hard. Neptune, New Jersey, baby. You know how we do. I just
think that he's probably going to end up taking him down since he's a kickboxer.
Yeah, and that might be it. But he has, right? So the thing is, Carl Robinson's got 4 submissions. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking looking at that, it seems like he might have some kind of ground game.
Yeah.
We got
Andrei Arlovsky versus you don't know Andrei Arlovsky?
I do know Andrei Arlovsky, but I'm bringing up his stats, man. I'm trying to get some stats working here, kid. Damn, kid. Trying to get some stats up for the people. Come on, man. Gotta help a brother out. Okay. All right, here we go.
Andrei, this is still Carl.
Oh, whoa, what the hell's going on here? Come on, YouTube.
Why are you going to the Wikipedia?
Because it just brings up really quick, easy stats. Okay, that's why. That's the main reason. UFC's website doesn't really get that good. And I didn't really feel like going to Tapology. This is just really quick bringing up the stats. So here we go.
Andrei Arlovsky's going to get knocked out.
Dude has got
Arlovsky's
fights.
Going to get knocked out.
Dude has got fights. No. American top team.
ATT.
6'4", 246.
Just moved to ATT too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The guy's got a record. It seems like he can fight.
Got a record, but the thing is, Arlovsky's been fighting since 1999.
Okay.
And also his chin is just gone.
Okay, so you don't think he's got a chin?
His chin is just disappeared. It just poof.
All right, well, let's check out the guy he's fighting. 34-year-old Philippe Lins. All right, where's Lins from?
Oh, yeah.
Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Yeah,
Brazil. Ooh, he is from the Brazilian black belt.
Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro. What gym does he fight for?
He fights out of Nova União Kimura.
I think that might be where Amanda Nunes.
Amanda
Nunes fights out of ATT.
It seems like with this fight, I'd like to go with Andrei Arlovsky. But I'm gonna go with Luis
Phil-
Philip Lins.
Uh,
That's what I'm taking. I'm
Yeah,
taking
I'm
Philippe
gonna go
Louis
with
Lins.
him. I'm gonna go with him just for the fact that he has 8 knockout wins, and he appears to be a knockout artist, and Andre's chin just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So
all right. So we got that fight called. I don't know. I think it might be a submission.
Andre's gonna.
Ooh, Ray Borg.
Ooh, that's gonna be a really good fight.
Ray Borg
versus Ricky Simone.
Yeah, Ray Borg. This
That
should be one of the better fights of this.
Fight. I think
this.
they're both middleweights going. Flyweights going up to bantam.
So this should be an interesting fight. Let's look at Ray Borg's stat and see what's going on with Ray Borg. 26
his most
fighting out of
thing is getting submitted by Demetrius Johnson. That suplex into.
Oh yeah, that's right. The suplex into the armbar. That's a tough thing to overcome, man.
Yeah, man. But Ray Borg is a solid fighter.
Yeah, and he was fighting DJ, right? DJ is arguably the greatest.
No, Demetrius Johnson, in my opinion, is the greatest fighter in UFC history.
Pound for pound, greatest fighter. You're hearing him say, "I'm still going with my boy GSP."
I mean, GSP.
You got to go with the
GSP
Canadian. You got to go with French. You got to go with how he's getting yoked. But back to our boy Ray Borg. He's got 17 wins, 17 fights, 13 wins.
1 by knockout, 6 submission. He is really solid wrestling, and he has. I'm not sure about his jiu-jitsu, but I would assume that he has pretty decent jiu-jitsu.
All right, so what's up with this Ricky?
I think it's Ricky Simone. Actually, I'm not sure.
He's just from across the bridge. He's from Vancouver. Oh, yeah. He's from Vantucky, man. This is our local boys. We do it. We're out of Portland, Oregon. Right? Weston's grandpa, my father-in-law, lives over in Vancouver. We like to call it Vantucky. Ooh, he's only a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Wow. That's a little suspect, particularly going against Ray Borg, who seems like he's got some pretty good wrestling.
Yeah, but he has to be a stand-up machine, man.
The guy's got a lot of fights under his belt still, right? He's got 18 fights. He has
one more fight than Ray Borg.
He's got 15 wins. He's got 5 by knockouts, 2 submissions. He seems to be a solid. He's Gracie Baja Portland. So,
hey, he's from Portland. We have to,
I'm going with the local boy. I'm going with Ricky Simone. Yeah. Not only is he from Vantucky, where my father-in-law and his grandpa lives,
from Gracie Baja,
but he's also Gracie Baja. I give Gracie Baja props. They're not straight blasting like we represent, like we hold down. But he's holding it down for Gracie Baja.
Gym in Portland.
He's holding it down He's holding it down for Gracie Baja. We are going with you, Ricky Simon.
I don't know. I think. He was the guy who Uriah Faber beat.
Okay.
But the thing is that Uriah, he was beating the fuck out of Uriah Faber until Uriah Faber was just like, uppercut!
Excellent, good call. And so I seriously think he'll win that. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder coming off that loss from
Drew Dober. So Alexander Hernandez was the guy who Cerrone beat. That when he came back from the lightweight division. I have no clue who Drew Dober is though.
All right, let's see who these guys are.
But yeah, we have to go with Ricky Simone.
So, Drew Dober. Let's see what's going on with this dude.
Drew Dober.
Omaha. He's from Nebraska. A Nebraska guy.
Nebraska actually has some decent fighters. Anthony Smith fights out of Nebraska.
He's from Nebraska. He fights out of Colorado. Elevation Fight Team. So, I would suspect, since this guy is fighting out of Colorado, he's probably got a pretty good motor.
Yeah.
Like, training at high altitude. He probably seems like he can fight. If you look at his total fights, he's got 32 fights, right? This guy's 31 years. That's a lot of fights for a 31-year-old.
He's probably been fighting since he's 16.
22 wins, 9 by knockout, 6 by submission.
7 decisions.
Yeah, so, I mean, this guy seems like he's a solid all-around fighter.
Yeah, 9 losses, though. I mean, it appears that he has a good chin, only 1 knockout loss.
Yeah, and he's going to be fighting Alexander Hernandez, 27-year-old, from St. Louis. Fighting out of San Antonio, Austin, Texas. Ohana Academy. Brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it seems like this guy doesn't have the fight numbers. He's got some pretty good wins. He seems like, on balance, he's got pretty good knockouts, pretty good submissions. Okay.
Yeah, I think Hernandez is probably going to win this.
Okay. Because you think he's being billed as what? The future of what? You're saying?
See, the thing is that that Cerrone fight was 100%. Dana White was like, Alexander Hernandez to the victory. And then they're going to build up Alexander Hernandez, but then he ended up getting embarrassed by Donald Cerrone. So I think that he doesn't have enough experience. Okay. And sure, he does have decent skills. He's a brown belt in BJJ, but I think overall, Just
you think Dober's gonna get it?
I have to go with experience.
Because you're gonna go with Dober.
Yeah.
So I think, man. So you were talking about Alex Hernandez was one of those cats that Dana White was trying to really elevate really quickly.
Yeah.
And he put him right against like the measuring block.
He put him against
the
Cerrone,
measuring block. Cerrone,
and
right?
Cerrone is definitely the measuring block.
Yeah.
By this point, he's a gatekeeper. He's not going to become past that by this point, and it's sad, but it's the truth.
So then I'm going to go with Alexander Hernandez solely because I think he's got a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Right? I think he saw the potential. He saw that there was this big pot of money out there if he could have taken out Cerrone. And I'm going to go with him solely based off of him wanting it, him having that inner grit. Yeah. We'll see. Now we get to, man, these are some of my favorite fighters. This is getting so good. Like, I love Big Ben Rothwell. I love this guy.
I really like
I love his fighting style.
You know that he's
I love how
peds, right?
Right? I mean, it's
everybody does peds.
It's the world, man, of sports, right? When there's that much money, some people going to cheat. But what I like about Big Ben Rothwell, the guy's got a freaking record, right? The guy's put in the time. The guy's got
50 fights.
The guy's almost got 50 fights. He's got 28 knockouts.
His last fight, he was losing it, but then his last fight was against Stefan Struve, and Stefan Struve was beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Until it was just
boom, just clock him down. Yeah.
Balls. Punches to the balls.
Yeah, and so I think fundamentally Ben Rothwell, what I like about his style, he's really relaxed. I mean, for a big dude, he doesn't seem to expend much energy. He's got that knockout strength. But then when you talk about Ovis St. Preux,
OSP, man,
this is another guy that has the potential at any time to knock somebody out, right? This is the guy.
He has a better submission game than he has a fucking Von Flute choke that is monstrous.
So he's got a good Von Flute choke.
Yeah.
He's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know, man. I think this will probably be one of the better fights of this card. I'm gonna go with Ovis St. Preux, just because the guy is kind of a physical specimen. I think as a physical specimen, particularly if you get to the later rounds, he should be able to wear down Ben Rothwell and defeat him.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking.
All right,
there's two factors in this. How OSP's strength affects him since he's moving up to heavyweight for the first time.
Okay.
His chin holding up as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like that if his chin's able to hold up, because OSP always didn't have the greatest chin.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really have the greatest chin ever, but he did have a mediocre chin.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that if he's able to hold up, if he's able to, his chin's able to hold up, then he'll do fine against Ben. I think they're setting up OSP to defeat Ben, so then he can move into the top 10, top 15, and probably, if OSP wins, they're going to put him up against, what's his face, the guy who beat Verdum on the card last night. 2 days ago.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Yeah, so am I.
Who beat Verdum? Yeah.
That's probably what they're gonna do. If the winner gets either Verdum. I think what they're gonna do is the loser of this gets Verdum, and then the winner gets I'm Verdum. Alexei Oleynik.
Yeah, Alexei Oleynik. That was the one. That was the one who beat
Alexei
Verdum.
Oleynik.
So you're thinking if OSP wins, he's got Alexei Oleynik. You think if Rothwell loses, he's got the loser of that
So the winner gets the winner of the winner gets Oleynik, and the loser gets Verdum. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Ben.
All right, you're gonna go with Ben.
It's just a safer choice.
All right, I'm going with OSP. Now on.
This is the easiest fight of the card.
All right, so who is it?
It's Anthony Smith. Glover Teixeira. I think he's close to 40. Teixeira's close to 40. His chin is gone. He doesn't have a good chin. He gasses out really easily. Teixeira, 2 fights ago, he almost lost to a middleweight that was going up to light heavyweight.
Okay.
Anthony Smith hits really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And Teixeira doesn't have a good chin. I think Anthony Smith is going to put him out in a round or 2.
You heard it. Anthony Smith, round 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So that's this prediction from Weston for UFC Fight Night. Smith versus
Smith versus Teixeira. Also,
Teixeira.
One thing.
Yo.
So did you remember yesterday when I proposed that mega fight card?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think that the UFC's next fight, big fight card is going to be?
I think it's you. Why don't you explain to the people what you think?
So this is my theory on what the UFC fight cards they're going to do. I think they're going to do a massive fight card in July. So I think what they're going to do is Khabib versus Gaethje. Then they're gonna do Cruz versus Cejudo 2, and then they're gonna do Masvidal versus what's his face, Usman, and then they're gonna have Ferguson versus McGregor, and that's just gonna be a massive fight card. I think that they could also
when do you think it's gonna be?
August, July-ish.
Okay, so super fight August.
So who do you think's gonna win, Khabib or Gaethje?
Oh, Khabib or Gaethje, man. Right, to beat the champ, you got to show that you can beat the champ. And right now, I have not seen anybody that looks like that they can take out Khabib. I think the guy's wrestling is just entirely too good for anyone. I think Gaethje, although he might be able to scramble, I do not think he's going to be able to have that motor like Khabib. I don't think he has.
But the thing that you're not taking into account is that Khabib can't shoot for takedowns when people aren't backing up against the fence. And Gaethje doesn't back up. And Gaethje's a smart fighter to know that he can't back up.
Right. I still think that you've got that Gaethje did not show me anything that significantly changes my belief that Khabib's going to be the undefeated champion for like the next 2 years. I haven't seen anyone to demonstrate that. I heard a lot of people talking about Ferguson. I think Ferguson, I think Ferguson probably is one of the luckiest / unluckiest guy. This is the guy that had the potential to have a really big payday. He got a good payday, but he ruined his chance to really be fighting Khabib by taking this Gaethje fight, and I think that shows him to be the ultimate competitor. I think Ferguson in that fight, the punishment he took, the ability to stay and keep grinding, I think that shows that he is arguably one of the greatest fighters, at least top 15, top 20 in UFC history. But I would also say that I don't think Ferguson would have beat Khabib either. And I definitely don't think Gaethje's going to beat Khabib.
I actually favor Gaethje over Khabib.
Okay.
I genuinely favor Gaethje because I think Gaethje overall, he's not going to back up when Khabib goes after him. He punches really hard, and Khabib has an okay chin. As well as Gaethje, he can scramble really well, and he also has really solid wrestling defense. So I think even if Khabib's able to get him up against the fence, I believe that Gaethje can be able to defend the takedowns of Khabib.
Excellent. So how do you want to sign out on this?
I don't know, Chief.
All right.
Just later, man.
Yo, peace out. You heard it from him.
Yeah. Predictions.